Hello, it's Scott Manley here, and I guess this is EXAPUNKS Part 7 because Part 6 just took too darn long. So let's get back to it. Okay, so actually I need a new exe here. So this one isn't going to drop the file. What it's going to do is after it sends that, it's then going to switch the mode of its status register to send locally. And there's an option here. There's a mode option here for the thing. Fjump, Swizz, halt, link, nope, host, there, mode, toggle the mode register. So I'm going to toggle it from global to local, right? So whereas this one will toggle it to local immediately. So this way it can communicate with its friend only. So this is going to wait for... So hold on. So that's sent it. And then what it'll do is it will receive, copy... Okay, copy the value of M into X, for example. So it'll know that there's a book here to be read, right? And then so we're going to copy X. Shouldn't really matter, X into M. So we'll send a signal to this thing. It'll say, okay, I'm expecting a file. And since it's expecting a file now, it'll have to go into the root. Okay, so like, we're going to do mark, like, B loop, big loop. So it needs to wait for its friend. Does it know how many books it's to make, actually? That's a good question. Man, this could take a little longer than I expected. Well, whatever, you're going to get an extra long episode as I consider what's going to exactly happen here. Maybe this thing should actually send the length of the file first, so that this other one knows how long it has, but it needs to store the value somewhere. I think, yeah, this will just send a message, a value across the network, set copy 1 over M to say we're still working. This will get it, and then test X is equal to, in fact, it doesn't even need to go in this register, right? We could just do test M equals 1, right? That means we're sending a book. If it's true, jump to get book, mark get book. Otherwise, if it's false, I mean, actually, if it's false, that should just drop out of this loop. That's a better idea. So we'll just do that. Done. So if it's anything other than 1, it'll be done. Now we fall through here, and at this point we then need to switch a register again to be global, right? So we're now waiting for global signal data. And so now we're gonna make a file, and then we're gonna copy M to X. Actually, you know, I need to check out the comparison operator. Always false. Okay. How do I set the T? So the T register could never be 0, right? So what I'm going to do is copy M to T. Because we don't know the length of the file, that's the thing. Is there a way to get the current file position? Seek file, wipe, launch test. Now, I guess we only get to the end of the file, and unless we've counted it, we don't know. So we're just going to test it every iteration. So we copy the value to t, and then if value of t is not 0, f jump to EOF, mark EOF. For that, we'll drop the file, and then switch our mode, and then we'll jump back to the big loop. Otherwise, we copy the value of t into f and jump to the R loop. Okay, so this is the R loop. Mark R loop. So this is the reader here, right? And this is where we jump when we're done, and done basically means we're done. Okay. Oh, but once we're done here, we have to tell this one to send the next value in the sequence, right? Because this is a non-global mode, so it's waiting here. So we send the thing back, and then we copy value 1 to the mode register so that they know that they're done. Okay, so we copied 1 to M. This now sends a value back, and then it's just a void M. So at this point, we've read that. So now we need to repeat this until we're testing the end of file. So actually, we need to test EOF. And if that's false, we're going to jump back to I loop. That's our index loop. Okay, so test EOF, F jump I loop. Void M. But you know what? We switched mode, right? So actually we need to switch the mode back here so that we're in regular mode. And assuming we're done here, we'll then send a 0 to both of these guys, right? So it'll be copy 0 to M, mode, copy 0 to M, and then we're done, right? That'll drop the file. This is going to be so much fun when it falls apart, and I've spent like all this time making it not happen. So this needs a special mode actually, so it copies M into X, but now we need to test if we're going to need to test if X equals 0. True, T jump, done. This one will terminate down here. And then this is the big loop as well, mark B loop. Okay, so we copy that, we swizzle it, we find the thing, and we start copying the file to M, and then we're going to have to test end of file. And then F jump to S loop, and then mark S loop, F jump S loop. So this will be the loop that's sending the file, and if we reach the end of the file, then we need to send the end signal, which will be a 0. So copy 0 to M, and then drop the file. And now we then need to reset our position, so we need to step backwards until the gateway, the name is gateway. So we have a host script, right? We have a host value, so so now we're going to call this return loop. mark. I mean, the other way to do it is to actually have this replicate a child. That might be a better way to do it. Right, look, this is my big loop here. We copy M to X, otherwise we jump to done. Otherwise... yeah, look, we can just do this. We're going to replicate... get book. And that starts here. Meanwhile, this, we jump back to B loop. So that then resets automatically without us having to do it. And it doesn't matter if we drop. I mean, we fall out of this loop here. We hit done. Let's see how this works. Moves forwards. And then we create a child. What happens to this child? The child moves in. Finds the book. Okay, now it's going to grab the book. It's going to add I. It's going to grab the book. And now it's going to copy F to M. Now let's see, is my mate copying the stuff? 512 Kellen's Human Physiology. Uh-oh, never requested more one book from the same host. Interesting. The call numbers for the books are available in file 300. That's the file we got. Okay. Maybe I've made this harder than it should be. It's Human Physiology. So now I want to run to here. Okay. So now this thing has died. And the thing has paused. Okay, something died. We never made it to that spot. What has happened to this child here? XC. Human Physiology, third. And it just failed. Oh, okay. Actually, I mean, it looks like it's mostly working. So how did this fail to exit properly? Let's run here. So we've read through the file, we've reached the end, now we're about to copy 0 to the... Oh, you know what's going to happen is this is waiting. It's waiting for an acknowledgement that it's ready to go. Oh, man. So it's going to get it, because it's waiting, basically. How did I not figure that out already? Wait a second, how is this actually sending data back? I'm not clear about that. Oh, this is 0, so it then causes it to terminate. And these things keep crashing. Oh, I'm such an idiot. So I think this host actually just needs to sit back down in here. But then, oh man, okay. Gonna have to think a little harder about this again. Okay, well I guess we're just gonna have to run a reset code. Okay, never mind the replication. T-jump done, mark get book, mark. Okay, so we've done this. Oh no, that's done the whole thing. So now, here, we've copied 0 to M. So we need to drop this file, and now we need to reset. R loop. So we need to call link -1 until we get back to gateway. So host into X, and then test X. How do we store the gateway name? How do I store the gateway name? Because the test, we need to store X somewhere. See, if I put in gateway, that'll not work. Because you can't put strings in. So you'd have to have someone else send you the gateway name. Well, maybe this needs to have it sitting around, because it's got room for it. Look, we're gonna copy M into X. Host should be stored in the T register. So we link to 800, and then we copy the host to M. And then this thing will pick it up and store it in X. And so after it's done that, test end of loop end of file. Oh, but you know what? This doesn't know. Wait a second. So it switches back to this, sends both of those. So this waits for that, sends that. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna, it signals that it's done, so it needs to copy the value of X into the M register, where this will pick it up, right? So in the return loop, the very first thing we do is copy value of M into X, host is T, and then test if T equals X. If it does, then we are done. So that means F jump. T jump. No, F jump to our loop. Otherwise, we jump back to the big loop. Let's see how that works. Gets that. And then sends back, and it's getting another book. And we're dropping more files in there. I'm feeling pretty good about this. What is reality? This is probably terrible, terrible performance. Test run complete! Holy moly, it actually worked! And it only took like 20 minutes. So that's pretty awful. But hey, look, this is legit. This is what happens when you try to solve these puzzles. Sometimes it takes forever and you realize that somebody else has done it way better than you, probably because they read something with a little closer details. I don't know what's going on here. You know what the best thing to do actually is? I think what you should do is do it sequentially so that you will get to each thing in question, so you have the files. Let me just do return to desktop. Never mind. Processing. Yes, this is what I wanted. Glad it's helping. I love ingesting a good corpus. Not that that's. I read that the same way as any normal human reads. I'm telling you, this AI keeps dropping hints that they are gonna be getting to know you really well, right? But oh man. I just want to check this digital library project. Look, it says the call numbers will never be more than this. So this is 582. If you sort this, I wonder, can you make it do the stuff in order? This just seems way more complicated than it needed to be. I mean, clearly, when you look at the amount of instructions and stuff involved. Although I guess, I could unroll some of these loops quite a bit. That might be the way to do it. I don't know. There's probably room to unlock all of this. Look, I'm at 60% of my game size, my code size. I may come back to it later when I've figured it out. But yeah, 40 minutes. Boy, that's pretty bad. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.